I bet there's any child who hasn't heard this. Respect your adults. So today we're going to talk about respect. And I'm sure as children, you have heard some adult say this to you. Respect your elders. And at whatever stage of life you might be at, somebody who is elder to you or higher in position to you says this to you still. But you can't command someone to respect you. You can't demand for respect. You can't force someone to respect you, right? And I'm sure all of us might have had some revolting responses in our head, even if we can't voice them out loudly. Respect is earned. You respect me, then I'll respect you. And whatever those responses may be. What then is respect? And is respect really allocated to a particular age group or the amount of experience you have or a position you hold or a designation you hold? Answering the first question, respect in my view is the value you convey to people by the way you treat them. Respect is not something merely done to make somebody happy. Respect is a genuine, from the heart expression of how you feel about somebody, and that translates into how you make them feel. Let's go to the second question. Respect, according to me, is a basic human need. As long as you are a human being, you feel the need for respect and you ought to receive it. Now, if respect is a basic human need, then irrespective of your age, your position, your experience, or designation, or any other human difference, you have to be given respect and hence give respect to all. Every child, every adult, every human being deserves respect and has to be respected. Because respect is not allocated to a particular group. It is to be given and received to all, by all. Now, coming back to our childhood where we heard adults say, respect your elders, we as children thought that, okay, since we are small, we have to respect people who are elder to us. Worse still, we were commanded to respect. It's like a coercion to give respect, whether you like it or not. You have to give us respect. And now that we have grown up into adults, we still have people demanding for respect from us, either because they are still elder to us or because they hold a better position than us or because they are more experienced. And we are like, excuse me, I'm also an adult now, so what should I do? Should I also now demand for respect from somebody who is lower than me, subordinate to me, younger, smaller than me? You know, because that's what we were told as children, that you have to respect your elders. So now I'm an adult too. Where's my share of respect? So I think this comes from a few misconceptions we have about respect. And when I mean misconceptions, I mean there are some people who think that only if you do this, you respect me. If you don't do this, means you don't respect me. So let's just look into some of these misconceptions according to me. So the first one is use of a soft voice tone. So your voice should be a little soft and sound a little polite. The second one is your head should be tilted downward. So your body language should be a little like, I'm a little lower than you. I respect you. Kind of a thing, where it's kind of conveying that I'm a little lower in identity than you. I'm a little smaller than you. I'm a little less experienced than you. It's shown through body language. The third one is no reacting and no retaliating. So if you're told something, you can't disagree, you can't react in an oppositional manner, because if you do so, then you're not being respectful. The fourth one is you should do what's told to you without questioning. Listen to what I say and do as I say. If you don't do so, if you question, then not conveying respect. Because the other person is elder and more experienced, you have to comply and agree to what's told to you. And the fifth is the use of titles and the way, the words you use to address people. So some people consider the use of titles as a respect. By the use of titles, I mean referring to people as sir, ma'am, auntie, uncle, or whatever title is associated to a particular relationship. So if you don't do that, means you're not being respectful. Now, whatever I mentioned are external behaviors and expressions of what people might perceive as respect. But is it true? Is this really respect? Does it really mean that if I'm not doing these particular things, I don't respect the other person? It's something to think about, right? So let's just question these misconceptions that I just mentioned. Think I'm somebody who is blunt and straightforward, and I don't come across as somebody who's very soft and very polite. Does that really mean that I'm not respecting the other person? It could also just be the way I speak, right? Or think I am somebody who doesn't agree to what you're saying because I have a different perspective. So I'm not being compliant or agreeable. Does that mean again that I'm not respecting the other person? Or think I'm somebody who asks a lot of questions. Maybe I need clarity. That's why I'm asking questions. I'm not trying to oppose you or make you feel less in any way. I need clarity, so I ask questions and, maybe I put my thoughts across and my perspectives across. That does not mean that, again, I don't respect the other person. And lastly, the use of titles. I have always been very thrilled by the fact that people equate titles to respect. I would like to give you 2 examples to explain the association between titles and respect in my experience. So the first one is, I was seeking admission in a college and I was living in another state at that point in time. So I had to coordinate with the clerk of that college over the phone. Now I knew her first name, hence every time I made a call to the college, I would ask for this particular lady using her first name. And of course, they would transfer the call and I would have a conversation with her and get the information I needed. And there was never any issue with that. Now came the day when I had to go to the college and meet this lady, the clerk, face to face. So I did so, and when I reached there, the lady responded with quite a bit of outrage. She was very annoyed that I always asked for her by her first name. She said, you know what, I am the head clerk working here for so many years and you calling me by my first name? I was petrified. She kind of, yelled at me in front of the other staff and I really didn't understand where the issue came from, but I get it. Title associated to respect. She did feel disrespected because I referred to her by her first name. Now, I had started working at the age of 17 years, and since then I worked in international companies, and trust me, I have always had to call and refer to my bosses and clients by their first name because obviously they did not associate the use of titles to respect. But somehow this lady did, and I know of many people who do. So she felt disrespected. I didn't have any intention to do so. Well, I have another example to give you. So I was doing this course and I had a teacher of mine, and obviously you call your teachers ma'am or miss. I used to call her ma'am when she was teaching me. Luckily, to my privilege, I had the opportunity of working with her in later years, and she was my HOD then. When she was my HOD, she requested all of us who worked under her to refer to her by her first name. So address her by her first name and don't call her ma'am. I switched very easily from calling her ma'am to her first name because, as I told you, I had a huge amount of experience where I referred to my bosses and clients by their first name and it wasn't ever an issue. So I started calling her by her first name. Trust me, I have huge amounts of respect for this teacher of mine, and it just got deeper when I started working with her. We shared a completely different relationship and it kept growing, and I share a very friendly relationship with her. Even today, I address her by her first name, and I know that irrespective of what I refer to her and address her as, or the tone of voice I used, or whether I question her, because I did that when I was working with her. I would ask her questions about her work and about her views, despite the fact that she had 30 years of experience in the field. And she just not in once took it in a disrespectful manner. She didn't think of me disrespecting her, because I didn't. I had respect for her in my heart, and I still do. So what I'm trying to put across is that respect is an internal feeling. It's not a measurable feeling. You can't quantify it, right? You can't really measure it and see that, okay, this person respects me, this person does not. And definitely not by the use of titles, and definitely not by the way people present themselves. Because as I said, it's not something merely done to make somebody happy. I can call you so, ma'am, talk with you with a lowered body language and flatter you maybe, but I might not have the respect for you in my heart. Then that's not respect, right? So as I said, respect is an internal feeling. When it is an internal feeling, it definitely can't be controlled by another human being, right? It is something that you feel from within. People can control what you do externally, but they can't really control what you feel from within. It is important for you to know that respect isn't gained by the title someone uses to address you, by your post or by your position. And respect should not be given based on these aspects too. If you demand for respect, it will diminish further. Respect is earned for you, by you. If you convey it, you will get it. And value is to be conveyed to all human beings, irrespective of age, gender, post, personality, dressing style, and any other human differences. You remember I said this earlier? Every child, every adult, every human being has to be respected. Because respect is not allocated to a particular group. Respect is to be given and received to all, by all. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe, and join me on this journey of exploring human differences. I'll see you around.